You think your relationship is dying because you and your partner argue about the same three things every single Tuesday night? You think a perfect marriage means reaching a total resolution on every disagreement? You're wrong. Most people think they know marriage, but they don't. They are operating on a fairy tale map while driving through a psychological minefield. Research reveals a bizarre truth that sounds like a disaster, but is actually your greatest hope for long-term survival. 69% of problems in marriage do not get solved. Ever. Psychologist John Gottman spent decades tracking thousands of couples, and he discovered that he could predict divorce with 94% accuracy based on how couples navigate these insoluble issues. He found that the presence of conflict isn't what destroys a relationship, it's the specific patterns of response you choose. Before this video ends, I am going to reveal the shadow bid, the one silent behavior you're doing right now that determines whether your insoluble problems become a bonding experience or a legal death sentence. If you're tired of the 94% divorce predictor looming over your head, stay locked in. This isn't just a talk, it's a manual for survival. Mistake number 1, the harsh startup and the biology of failure. Let's talk about that tone you used this morning. You know the one. You were already annoyed before the conversation even began. Research proves that 96% of the time, the outcome of a discussion is decided in the first 3 minutes. If you start with criticism disguised as concern, saying, "You never help around here," instead of, "I feel overwhelmed," you've already lost the battle. Here is what's happening in your body. When you launch a harsh startup, your partner's nervous system registers it as a physical threat. Their stress hormones flood, their heart rate spikes above 100 beats per minute, and their blood pressure climbs. Here is the kicker. When that happens, the part of their brain that handles complex problem solving literally shuts down. They can't hear you because biologically, they are in survival mode. You aren't communicating, you're attacking a brick wall. Stop right now and comment "flooded" if you've ever had an argument where you felt your heart racing so fast you couldn't even remember what you were fighting about. I'm taking notes on who's ready to stop the biological warfare. This leads directly to the second horseman, contempt. This is the single biggest predictor of divorce within the first 6 years of marriage. It's when you stop seeing your partner as flawed and start seeing them as beneath you. It shows up in the eye roll, the sarcasm, and that little smirk when they're trying to explain something. Research confirms this is relationship poison that actually weakens your partner's immune system. When criticism says, "You made a mistake," contempt says, "You are a mistake." You aren't just hurting their feelings, you are physically making them sick. The 69% reality, why resolution is a myth. Now, let's go deeper into that 69% statistic. Most of your marital problems are unsolvable because they are rooted in fundamental differences in personality, values, or attachment styles. In a fire exit marriage, where you married just to escape a toxic family environment, these differences feel like a prison sentence. But in a healthy marriage, these 69% of problems are managed, not solved. Successful couples understand that they are marrying a set of problems, and they choose a partner whose problems they can live with. If your partner is an extrovert who seeks novelty and social stimulation, and you are a neurotic homebody who needs constant validation, you will argue about social plans for the next 40 years. If you have a secure attachment style and they carry the 23% avoidant pattern, you will struggle with intimacy cycles forever. The goal isn't to change their personality. Research shows you can't love narcissism out of someone or make a psychopathic person develop empathy. The goal is conflict intimacy, the ability to face these differences honestly and respectfully. I'm about to break down the 12 types of intimacy that act as the buffer for these unsoluble problems. But first, you need to understand why your childhood wiring is making you choose relationship destroyers instead of partners. Attachment wounds, the silent problem generators. Why do these problems stay unsolvable? Because they were formed before you could walk. If you have an anxious attachment, you need constant validation and fear abandonment because your caregiver was unpredictable. You overanalyze every text and spiral when they don't respond for 6 hours. If you date the emotional ghost, someone with an avoidant attachment, they will withdraw every time you reach for them because they learned early on that depending on others leads to disappointment. This creates a 94% divorce predictor cycle of pursuit and withdrawal. The anxious person's protest behavior triggers the avoidant person's deactivation, leading to mistake number 4, stonewalling. This is when one partner completely shuts down or walks away mid-conversation. While the stonewaller often thinks they are calming down, studies show the partner feels more pain than if they'd been openly hostile because stonewalling is an emotional erasure. Marriages can't survive chronic emotional checkout. If you've spent years trying to inspire someone who is committed to staying stuck, comment day 1 if you're ready to stop being a parent to your spouse. The personality traits that make cheating inevitable. Some unsolvable problems aren't just differences, they are exit signs. Research identifies specific personality traits that predict infidelity with statistical reliability. If you are with a narcissist, they genuinely believe they deserve better than what they have, even when the relationship is good. They use infidelity to regulate their inflated sense of self-worth. Then there is the psychopath who lacks the internal brake system to stop from thrill-seeking. They don't feel your pain emotionally, so their cost-benefit analysis for cheating is completely different from yours. You are not special enough to override someone's brain patterns or personality structure. If your partner is financially reckless, hiding credit cards and lying about spending, that impulsivity will eventually bleed into their sexual choices. You can't fix someone who is building their identity on being a victim because you will become the villain the moment you disagree with them. The shadow bid and the 12 types of intimacy. Remember that shadow bid I mentioned? This is the secret to managing the 69% of problems that never go away. Every day, your partner makes small attempts to connect, a bid. They say, "I had a rough day," or "Look at this song." You have 3 options: turn toward, turn away, or turn against. Research tracked newlyweds for 6 years and found that couples who stayed together turned toward each other 86% of the time. Those who divorced, they only did it 33% of the time. Every time you look up from your phone when they speak, you are making a deposit in your emotional bank account. When that account is full, you can weather the unsolvable problems because there's enough goodwill to support the repair. To keep that account full, you must look beyond just sex and cultivate 12 types of intimacy. 1. Emotional, sharing fears and dreams in a safe space. 2. Intellectual, respecting each other's opinions even when you disagree. 3. Physical. Beyond sex, this includes hugs, kisses, and cuddling, which immediately lowers cortisol. 4. Aesthetic, appreciating beauty, art, sunsets, or music together. 5. Creative, building a shared vision, a home, or a business. 6. Recreational, laughing and playing together. 7. Work, operating as a unit to tackle daily chores as a team. 8. Crisis, standing together through significant loss or change. 9. Conflict, the maturity to face differences honestly. 10. commitment, choosing each other daily through all circumstances. 11, spiritual, sharing thoughts on meaning, purpose, and values. 12, communication, real, grounded conversation without walking on eggshells. If your relationship only checks 2 or 3 boxes, it will eventually collapse. But if you cultivate these, the 69% of problems don't matter because you've built a partnership that literally changes your body chemistry for the better. The 2026 Manifesto: Forgive, Heal, and Choose. As we head into 2026, you need to forgive yourself for the timelines that didn't happen in 2025. If you're single, don't treat it like a waiting room. Treat it as the time to build a life so full that you are adding to abundance rather than filling a void. 2026 is the year of clarity. Stop accepting breadcrumbs and stop convincing yourself that potential is the same as reality. Date who they are right now, not the person they promise to become. If your relationship makes you feel more alone than when you were single, you must recognize that staying in something dead doesn't make you loyal, it makes you a hostage. But if your relationship is worth saving, do the work. Stop keeping score, stop bringing up the past, and start turning toward those tiny, unremarkable bids for connection. Research proves those small moments are everything.